We're at the end of the week now, and you'll see trucks and all sorts of equipment being moved around behind me. But beside me, I have Bruno Senna and Ted Kravitz to talk us through the week so far. And Bruno, I have to start with you. What's your impression of the last 4 days?
It's been very good. I think we had successful 2 days of testing, many laps, made many tests with the car, and we got good information. So it's very positive. Now we need to get to Barcelona and keep chipping away, and you know, always improve performance.
And Ted, what about you? Were there any surprises this week?
I think the surprise for me has really been the reliability of the cars. I don't know what you think. Normally you get to the first test and people are breaking down all over the place. And yes, we have had red flags, but on the whole the reliability has been absolutely excellent. The Williams, I think, has maybe you've had 1 or 2 glitches, which is pretty normal. Sauber's had a little bit of unreliability, Sebastian Vettel had a little bit, but otherwise the cars have run pretty faultlessly. And for a first test, I don't know what you think. That's pretty unusual.
Yeah, I was surprised by the small amount of red flags for problems with cars, and so it's been a very productive test, and we managed to do a lot of kilometers, so it's so good to validate the tests.
Today we saw Fernando Alonso set the fastest time of this day anyway, but he spent a lot of time in the garage. How frustrating is that when you're forced to come back in and you only get 2 laps at a time?
Well, it's difficult to know what type of program they were running, but for sure they got a good lap time, so they must know what they're doing.
I mean, Fernando Alonso, it was a good lap time, Bruno, and there were some thoughts that maybe that was what they call a confidence lap for Ferrari, after their technical director yesterday said that he's not happy with the progress of the car. For them to come out and set the fastest lap of the day, maybe it was on low fuel, maybe it was on new tyres, you know, we don't really know, but that would have given them some confidence going into the next test. Fernando Alonso himself saying that we only know 20% of what we need to know about this car, and that for Ferrari is slightly worrying, because there's another 80% to be known, and there's only 8 more days of testing to go. I mean, would you say you know more than 20% about the Williams so far?
Yeah, we're getting to learn, but you know, these cars are changing all the time. You have to always improve and adapt, and I think we've got a good idea of what the car can do this weekend, and then we have to improve what needs to be improved.
Well, if we talk about being stuck in the garage for a while, Red Bull spent until mid-morning in the garage because of an electrical fault. Do you hang around when that happens? Do you get out of the way of the engineers?
Well, it's important to know what's happening and then let them work. So, you know, if you do many laps, you have to go with the physio and do some stretching and stuff like that. So we get to rest a little bit on the cars, not working, but I didn't have any of that. Yesterday and today we got plenty of laps in.
Red Bull struggled, but yes,
yeah, Red Bull did slightly struggle. Sebastian Vettel lost a bit of time, but I'm sure Bruno agrees. You know, Red Bull are a class outfit, current reigning world champions, both in drivers and constructors, and they do seem to have a quick car. I don't know, did you follow the Vettel on track at any point? Did you see how that car was handling?
No, today we didn't get to be around any other cars. Most of the time we were doing our own thing with different fuel loads, and ended up not really being close to the cars. So it's difficult to say where they're better, where they're not, but we know that in Barcelona we'll get closer to the cars and see what happens.
You got some good time on the track this week. Do you think Williams is set for more points this year?
Oh, I hope so. I think that's the objective. For sure, everybody's working very hard to improve their cars and get better and better for the races. But you know, we're not stopped. We need to keep on improving and hopefully be very competitive in the championship.
Can you sum up the rest of the midfield for us this week?
It's a fascinating battle in the midfield. We have Williams, we have Sauber, we have Force India that look like they're going to be a strong team, and we also have Toro Rosso come with a slightly revolutionary looking car with their undercut side pods. But I think Bruno and his teammate Pastor Maldonado are going to be right in there with their Renault engines and with the improved aerodynamics that this car seems to have. I think you're going to be right up there with points. It's going to be so competitive. That's maybe last points paying position, 10th, 11th, 12th, something like that. And anybody could score those points, I think, straight off.
Yeah, you know, towards the end of last year, it was very, very competitive between the midfield, and I think this year, where everybody knows better the Pirelli tires, it's going to be even harder. So it's good to be here in the pre-season testing and come to the championship as ready as possible.
And so 3 teams didn't bring their 2012 cars here to Herezu. Big setback for them not to be here.
Yes, it was a setback, and first of all, HRT, Hispania, Bruno's old team, we learned today that they haven't passed still some of their crash tests, so they can't test their new car even if it was ready. Marussia, they won't have their new car here until the final Barcelona test, and Mercedes, they were topping the timesheets for the first 2 days with their old car, last year's car, as you'd expect, much faster, without any of the rule constraints of this season. But we wait to see what will happen for the Mercedes. They're bringing their new car to the next Barcelona test, and I think HRT, that's unfortunate. Maybe for your old guys, your old friends there, you might hope that they have a decent start to the season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always difficult when you're constricted with budget, and you know, these guys have been working very hard, so hopefully they'll get a new car out in time to learn a little bit about it before the season starts.
Finally, Ted, we seem to have avoided any controversies this week. Would I be right in saying that?
We've avoided controversy. We certainly haven't avoided attention. This is a lovely crowd we've got here for you, Bruno. But yeah, controversies on the exhaust seems to be averted. Charlie Whiting, the FIA race director, the guy who sets the rules, has been here in Barcelona. He's had a look at the exhaust of the Ferrari and the McLaren. He said, as far as he's concerned, they fall within the regulations, both within the spirit and the letter of the law. So it looks like, barring any further adventurous exhausts that come to the Barcelona tests, we won't have any controversy when we get to Australia. And it's always nice not to have those controversies, I don't really think.
You never know.
You never know. You never know, exactly.
Bruno, we can hear the equipment being moved out. That's all going to Barcelona. What do you do between now and the Barcelona test?
Well, we have filming week, so next week we're going to have lots of PR activity, and you know, hopefully get some rest before hitting the track hard next test in Barcelona.
Thanks very much for joining us. Thanks, Ted, for summing up the week. So that's it from here in Herezu. The testing session is over. Everyone is moving out and on to Barcelona, and we'll see you there in 11 days' time.